Here's a plugin I think is great for Berlin school type sounds, and it also has a bit of an 80s vibe. On top of that, it is also a fully fledged synth, and it's free. What's not to like? It can make sounds like this. And this. And this. In this video, I'll run through a few of the sounds so you can see if it's something that you would like to have in your collection. Now, just before we get started, there are a couple of caveats. The first one is it is Windows only. It won't run on a Mac unless someone knows of a piece of Mac bridging software which will allow Windows plugins to run on a Mac. If you know of such an application, please let us know in the comments. I'm sure that would be of great interest to many Mac users. The second caveat, it is 32-bit only, so it will not run natively in 64-bit DAWs such as Cubase and Ableton. However, there is an easy fix for this, and that is to run a piece of bridging software called JBridge. I've made a video showing exactly how to do this, card up there and a link in the description. I've been using JBridge for 2 years, maybe 3. It works perfectly, and I have used it to run a lot of 32-bit plugins in Cubase. So this piece of software is called Crisalys. You may already have it. It was first released, I believe, back in 2011, which is why it's probably only 32-bit. It was originally paid software produced by Max Synths. However, around 2016, I think, he made it freeware. There are a few places you can get this from. I shall leave links, of course, in the description so you can download it and try it for yourself. It has quite an excellent manual. We love to read manuals, don't we? It's well worth having a look through it because it explains what all the functions and features are. In essence, it has 3 oscillators which use custom wavetables. It has a mass of modulation options. It has 8 32-note sequences. It has built-in effects such as flanging, delay and reverb. So let's plug it in, boot it up and see what it sounds like. So this is Crisalys, and one of the things I really like about this, and many other software synths do this, but not all of them, and I find it really annoying. It lets you step through the presets with the cursor keys. You can see it here, and you can see the synth is changing. This is incredibly useful for auditioning presets. With some synths you have to select a preset and then click on it in order to activate it. That is just so annoying because you have to go back to the menu and so on. Anyway, let's just try some of these presets. So there are a couple of things that you'll notice as I go through some of these presets. Most of them are in stereo, and in fact the sound bounces wildly across the stereo image. Now, we're talking about electronic music, and I think electronic music should make full use of the stereo or quad image or whatever 3D space we have. So stereo, I think, is really excellent. The other thing which you'll realise, just as a quick reminder, a lot of these have filter sweeps on them, and I think that's a pretty sort of 80s thing. I just hope I don't get a copyright strike for a filter sweep, as many other YouTubers have, but we'll see. So you will hear these as we go through some of the presets. Let's try some more. And that has a delay on it as well, and that's a lot of filter sweep on that. So the presets are arranged in little categories, so you can see this is SAQ for sequencer. These are among my favourite without a doubt, so I'll run through these mainly. So that is an odd one. Not sure how, very spacey, not sure how I would use that. So if you are of a certain age, certainly in the UK, you may remember a TV programme called Knight Rider, which had a car, I think it was called Kit, and this was an intelligent car, and the music was great. It was sort of sequence music, a bit like this. It was a little bit of a, I think of a breakthrough for TV themes or so at the time, and a lot of the sounds here remind me of that sort of vibe. Maybe that's why I think it's sort of 80s or maybe even 70s. So more filter sweeps and more Kit car, I think. So that's quite interesting. It has this sort of vocoder-like, a voice-like quality to it. A few of the patches do have. That's obviously down to the design of the instrument. That's another nice bouncy sequence. That's another one. So I'm basically playing these on middle C. Let's try, this is C 2 octaves down. Oh, that is really heavy. That's 2 octaves up. So a lot of these sequences you could use as a bass sequence or as a sort of middle riff type sequence, which you could put another bass line to and put pads underneath and melody lines on top. Another nice riff. It's another interesting one. So I hope you get the feel of the sort of sequences this produces. The presets, certainly in this bank, and you can load other presets, I'll show you that in just a second, are divided into different categories. SEQ stands for sequencer, AT I think stands for atonal. And there are lots of super soundscapey, spacey, droney type sounds here. Oh, it hadn't finished. It hadn't finished playing before I switched sounds. That's going to go on for a little while. You see, I think these are really sort of 80 vibes. At least that's what it reminds me of. Let's just skip down. Try another one. Filter sweeps and sweeping across the stereo image. Change preset mid sound. So I think these would be really great for, well, anything really, soundscapes, ambient, industrial sounds. So there's AT, there's atonal sounds, there's BS. I assume this sound stands for bass and not something else. There we are, there's a nice bass sound. There's a filter sweep-ish vocal type effect on it. Very, very heavy synthy sounds. So I'm not going to go through all of them. I was just to give you a flavour of what this synth is and what it can do. But there are various categories. So we have bass and we have brass as an organ sound. I'll have to scroll through these. You can see the prefixes here, which let you know what they are. Synth sounds, and there are even some percussion sounds at the bottom. So yes, because I'm not quite drums, I think these are really interesting sounds. As I say, you can load other banks, so you do that simply by clicking on this little arrow and then import the bank. and you'll be prompted to find a file and upload it. So there are a couple of banks with the software. I won't load any more banks. You can play with this yourself. Several people have produced sound banks for Crisalys. If I can find links to any of them, I will leave those in the description as well. So what did you think? Is that Berlin School with an 80s vibe? I think it produces some super sounds, and so the video didn't run on for another couple of hours. I have only concentrated on the sequences, which are the ones I find most interesting. However, it is well worth listening to the other sounds, the bass sounds, the lead sounds, the synth sounds, and so on. I hope you found this interesting. If you download it and try it out, let me know what you think of it. And if you enjoyed this video, I think you might enjoy these videos as well. As always, I do appreciate you watching. For that, thank you very much indeed. I will see you again soon.